Hello everyone, welcome to the channel one more time. Hope you all are doing very well. Today, how I said in the last video, I am thinking of reading three stories that are connected with different subjects that I will be explaining. But before I start talking about these stories, I want to say just one thing about internal process. If you want to do it, or when I do it, I notice that when I was in the position and doing all my, when I was activate my chakras and everything that you know as internal process, I feel things in my body, here or here or here. So my advice, if you are doing it or if you want to start doing it, be aware, because there is is that a sign, that's a sign that something is there, is triggering you. So don't worry, just be aware about it and carry on. Just when you start to feeling it, just relax again, your shoulders or your neck or wherever you are feeling, relax and carry on. I did it that with myself. I forgot to mention it before. Yes. Okay, so to start, the first story is a Hindu story. So I will be reading in my computer because I have those stories here to be more easy to share with you. So let's start. According to ancient Hindu legend, there was once a time when all human beings were gods, but they abused their divinity so much that Brahma, the chief god, decided to take it away from them and hide it somewhere it could never be found. However, to find the best place, he needed to convene a council of the gods to help him decide. Let's bury it deep in the earth, said the gods. Brahma replied, no, that won't work because humans will dig into the earth and find it. Then the gods replied, okay, let's sink it into the deepest ocean. But Brahma said, no, not there either, because they will learn to dive and find it. Then the gods replied, okay, how about the top of the highest mountain in the farthest corner of the earth? But once again, Brahma replied, no, that won't work either, because eventually they will climb every mountain, scale every peak, search every high cave, and once again find and regain their divinity. The rest of the gods were exasperated. They raised their arm in surrender. There is no room, they cried. Humans will multiply and find it wherever we put it. Brahma was silent for a while. He thought long and hard. Finally, he looked at the rest of the gods. Glimmer of wisdom in his eyes. This is what we will do, he said. We will hide their divinity in the deepest place they will surely never seek. the very center of their own being. The rest of the gods regocete. Of course, it will be perfect place, everyone formally agreed, and the deed was consummated. Ages passed, and ever since humans has been on a desperate, endless quest, scouring every corner of the planet, digging, diving, climbing, and exploring, searching for the one thing they know they have lost and simply can't find. Well, with this story, I would love to say that it's about go in to us, not out, It's go first, go in. And that's why the interview that I am offering for counseling and the internal process works very well. Go in. I want to talk about the interviews that I am offering as a session, part of the first step for the session, for the counseling session that I am offering. When you put a camera in front of a person, for some of the people can be quite strong, So the mind is harder for the mind play games, because when you are going to the session with counselor or whatever is working in this field, your subconscious or your conscious can hide things, and in very deep way. So when you talk about your things that I will be asking, the subconscious will come, I'm saying this because as I work as a journalist for many years, and for some years, and I notice it, but for example, the politicians knows how it works, so they can manage it, can play with it too. So if you really want to work within yourself, your answers will be honest, with yourself, because so some people during the interviews that I have done that are in my channel, some people comment to me that they try to memorize the questions that I did give them already. Before the interview, I give always the questions I will be asking for, so people knows already what I will be asking. So they try to memorize the questions, and they said that once we were during the interview, they ending up to saying, what's the next question? And you can watch some of the interviews, and they said, oh, I don't remember these questions, So that's why the public interview that I am offering as a first session in counseling, in my way to do counseling, that's why it so works so well, because you will be saying the subconscious will come, So that's for the interview and the internal process. Back into the story, internal process is going into, working with inside ourselves, and then once we are, let's say, change the game in our life, well, we can start from zero, that's why sometimes people is scared about this, because there will be changes, sometimes can be a very, very big changes. Sometimes I'm talking about sometimes separations can come, go away, walk away from people, so some group of people that you can be enrolled with them, or you can do after this work. There will be changes. Yes, I know that. So some people is afraid of this, so they decide to carry on their lives how it is, and but if you want to make changes because you said I'm done or this is enough, we always can clean the table and start from zero. Okay, so the interview that I am offering as a first session of the counseling is working for you locate yourself. Where are you? Where are you located in life, in yourself? What's the stuff that we need to work with, or you need to work with? So yes, it's like put light in the darkness, and yes. So this is from the first story that I wanted to share with you. Now I will read the second story. That is it called The Man, the Boy, and the Donkey. A man and his son, who was about 11 years old, were coming along a road. They were also accompanied by a donkey, which the man used every day to carry firewood. However, by that time, the donkey no longer had to carry any weight, and since the man was very tired, he got on the donkey. After a while, they passed by a group of people who stared at the man and the boy and said once they had passed, "What a selfish man! He was so comfortable on the donkey and the poor boy was walking. What a nerve!" So the man, embarrassed, got off the donkey and told his son to get on. They walked like this for a good while, until they met another group of people who looked them up and down and murmured, "What a spoiled boy! His poor father, already old, was walking and he was so comfortable on the donkey." So the man told the boy to get off the donkey, and the two of them began to walk behind the animal. Just then, they met another group of people who said, "What a pair of fools! Both of them walking behind the donkey, which is so restful. Doesn't it occur to any of them to get on to be more comfortable?" And the man decided then that they should both ride on the donkey, his son in front and he in back. And so they walked for a while until another group of people said, "How awful! Poor animal! Can't you see how tired it is, having to carry both of them?" The man passed by, shrugged and said to his son, "You see, son, you see how you should never pay attention what others say?" Here I want to talk about, well, people always will talk, you know. If you do something, they will talk. If you don't do something, they will talk. Anyways, so I'm saying this because about the interviews that I am offering as a first step of my counseling way to do counseling. Some people can be afraid what others will think about their life experience, or what how I said before, we all are having life experience, and I think it's important to honor them, you know, not hide them, not honor them, because they have because those life experience, you are who you are, you know. And here lots of people is wearing a mask, you know, not just one mask, many masks, you know, depending where they are, you know, where are they. So my proposal is take off the mask, become to be free, and truly who you are. Truly who you are. That will really, believe me, you will feel like you put away many tons on you away, and you will become to be your real you, and yes, nothing to hide, and that it feels great. And yes, so and it's not just because the interview, you know, is in all the areas in your life, in during the path in your life, you know, it's important. I understand we are individuals, but we are social individuals too. So lots of people is aware what others are thinking of us. But it's time to be brave, be brave, and be who we truly are, I think. Okay, this is the second story that I wanted to share with you. Now I will love to read the third story, and it called Buddha and Resignation. Many years ago, in the time of Buddha, there lived a poor widow named Kisa Gotami, who had a son whom he adored. One day, her son fell ill and died. Mad with grief, she refused to bury him and carried him with her everywhere, ignoring the words of comfort and resignation that people addressed to her. She clung to the baby's body and wouldn't let anyone take him away. Holding on with all her strength, she went around the entire village, begging people for medicine to cure him. Some mocked her, while others were perplexed. All she wanted was medicine that could bring her son back to life. Finally, someone suggested that she go see Buddha. She go see Buddha, who was reputed to be endowed with all kinds of powers. He was considered a great saint capable of performing the greatest miracles, and he could very possibly help her. With renewed hope, she ran to find him. The poor woman arrived with her son's corpse before the master, and throwing herself at his feet, begged him, sobbing, for some medicine for her son. Buddha looked sweetly at Kisa Gotami and the deceased son she was holding in her arms. "Yes," Buddha said, "I can help you. But to make the medicine, I need you bring me a mustard seed." Fascinated, Kisa Gotami was about to run to find it. In every Indian home, there was a jar in the kitchen where mustard seeds were kept. Soon she would have the medicine for her son. "There is only one condition," Buddha continued. "The seed must come from a home where no one has died." Without further thought, Kisa Gotami, full of hope, left for the city and began her search. She went from house to house, and everywhere she found people willing to help her. But she always heard the same story. Here a wife, there a husband, a sister, a brother, a mother or father, a son or a daughter. There was no home where they didn't mourn the death of a loved one. Few are still alive, many are gone. Don't rekindle our sad memories, they told her again and again. Slowly, Kisa Gotami realized that death had visited them all, and that she was not the only one mourning a loss. Calm and sober, she looked at the child in her arms and finally accepted that life had left his body. She took her son to the cemetery and said goodbye to him one last time. Then returning to find the Buddha. The Buddha welcomed her and asked if she had found the mustard seed. "No," she replied, "but I am beginning to understand the lesson you are trying to teach me. My son no longer exists. He has died, and I have buried him next to his father." The Buddha told her with great compassion, "You thought you alone had lost a son." I think to me it's important to talk about this subject. Lots of people is feeling fear for die, and but it's important to be conscious that we all die, early, later on, we will die. That's the truly true, In this society that we are living, we avoid to don't talk about that subject. That is very, very important to live our lives with freedom, And I think it's very important because a lot of people that is about to die um, are dying alone because family or people don't want to see them dying, or it's too hard, to them. But the people that is about to die, they require company, they require words, kind of words like everything will be all right, you are not alone, we are here with you, to that person or the people, go in peace. It's really, really hard to think the people is dying by themselves with no company, with no words, and say, no worries, everything will be all right, I will be all right, everything will be all right, go in peace. Take the hand, smile, to give them force. Yes. It's one of the things that as a society we need to change, it's really, really, we need to change it. And the other part of the people is not living their lives fully because they're scared of die, but we will die, we know this, and it's important to start talking about this because we know this, everyone know this, if you start to talking about die, people, oh no, this no won't happen, and it's yeah, so that's for me important to talk about today. And well, this is all that I have for today. Well, another thing that I want to talk to is internal process, all the stages of internal process, and is about self-love, one example is we require to love ourselves. I want to say that example is quite very for example, the countries that doesn't produce their own food, or their own products, like I don't know, grains and food, so they buy to other countries, they buy the food from other countries, so they import, food. But what happened when that country said, because life is like that, it's changing all the time, and the country said, you know what, I won't sell it anymore, this food, to you. So it's when this country that was imported the food will say, wow, so now what will happen, so it's the same with love. Love needs to start with ourselves, we need to, I know this is not the right word that I want to use, we need to produce our own love, to be independent. it doesn't mean you don't need you don't need to another people. Of course, no, I'm not saying that, but we need to start with ourselves, you know, because life change all the time, and you don't know what's next, you know. So yes, that's all that I wanted to share with you today. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Hope this help you in any ways. And keep well, carry on, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.